We're going to talk tonight about Antichrist. So we can read together chapter 13 of Revelation. Revelation 13. Revelation 13. Do you know that most of the time in the Western countries they don't like number 13? And there is some hotels, it has no floor 13 or room 13. Why? Because they hate that number. Why? They don't know. But I believe that they hate it. It was a Christian understanding in old days that chapter 13 or number 13 remind them of the beast, of the Antichrist. So they hate that number, or they didn't like that number. But the new generation, they don't like the number, but they don't know why. Like many other things. So in chapter 13, he's talking to us about the Antichrist, the beast. If we read together, you will find, then I stood on the sand of the sea. What is the sand of the sea? What reminds you of sand of the sea? It's in the Bible. Something in Old Testament, sand of the sea. Abraham's sons and daughters. So the descendant of Abraham is the sand of the sea. So he was standing among the descendant of Abraham, who is the Israelite. So he was like among Jewish people. And I saw a beast rising up out of the sea. What is the sea in the Bible? The world, right? Having 7 heads and 10 horns. Heads on always in the Bible, and eyes, a symbol of knowledge. 7 fulfillment, a full number. 7 heads means full of knowledge. Who was have a full of knowledge in the Old Testament in the Bible? No. Cherubim, yes, one of bronze. Yeah, 7 heads means full of knowledge. And who had the full of knowledge? The cherubim. Why? This is their names, meaning full of eyes, full of knowledge. And we can know that from the Bible. How? Because the devil, Satan himself was full of knowledge. And Satan, we don't say Satan because this is a nickname. No, it's his name, Sataniel or Sataniel, like Michael, like Gabriel, Sataniel. So he was one of the cherubim. And he said to him in Isaiah, how come that yet, O star of the morning, how you fall? Oh, and he said, O Karub or Sharub, the same word. So he said, how you fall, the star of the morning. He said that I put my throne on top of the God's throne. Why he said that? Because God put into the cherubim all the knowledge. So he said, I know everything. Why I don't become God? I can be God. But he forgot something very important. That God not only full of knowledge, He's full of mercy, full of love, full of everything. So He will never be God. But until now, He is convincing people in the world that He is God. He is very powerful. And you can hear about some place like churches, we call it Church of Satan, devil worshipper because he is their God. So having 7 heads, that means he has all the knowledge. And 10 horns, 10 also a fulfillment number. So 10 horns means a full of attack. Anybody, because horns in the Bible a symbol of attack. So he will attack anybody. And on his horns 10 crowns, because he got all the crowns of the world. The chief of this world will come and has nothing in me. You remember when Jesus said that? So he's the chief of the world, and he got all the crowns of the world. And on his heads, a blasphemous name. This is his nature. He's against God always. And if you see any one of those who had unclean spirits, you can see clearly that they are against God, they hate God. There were in Australia, a lady, she was a social worker in a foster, and she came to me and said, "Abuna, I don't know what to do." I said, "What is your problem?" She said, "A boy in the foster." What happened? She said, "Actually, that boy, he's the only boy stayed in the house in the foster, while I have to go to the church. And I cannot leave the place as long as there is children there. So I begged him to go with his friends. He didn't. So I didn't know what to do. He's the only boy. So I said to him, "Okay, can you come with me? If you don't go with your friends, I'll take you to the church." He said, "Okay, I'll come." So he went with her to the church. You know, most of the time in the church, in the New Year, the youth standing, playing, or laughing, or chatting outside of the church, and he was among them. Then at midnight, she said to him, "I have to take you back to the foster." He said to her, "No, I don't want to go." She said, "Look, if you don't go, because at midnight, he is not her responsibility anymore." So she said to him, "I will take you to the foster." He said, "No." She said, "If you disagree about that, you will come to the church, and if we pray, you pray. If we sit, we sit. If you stand, we stand." He said, "Okay." So she let him in, and he attended liturgy while he didn't understand anything. But at the end of the liturgy, they give him, I want to give him the Arbana blessing, Lu'mat al-Barakah. After 2 days, she found with her colleague a very big fight in the foster. So all the kids the boys, they were around 15, beating that one. So they saved him from their hands, and they took him to his room. And they said to him, "What's going on? Why all this fight?" He said, "Because I'm different." Girls, do you get scared? You don't? You are very strong.
Yeah.
So that's good. Because I don't want you to have a nightmare or something like that.
No.
Okay. Selena, are you okay? Strong girl? Okay. So he said, "I'm different. I'm different." They said, "What do you mean, everyone different?" He said, "No. They all believe in God. I worship devil." So the lady said to him, our Coptic lady, she said, "It's nonsense. It doesn't matter, but you're all the same here in this place. He said, stop talking. You are the cause of all this problem. Because since I came with you in the church, and actually it's illegal to take him to the church, and nobody knows, but now he's telling her colleague. Since I came with you to the church, my God, the devil, giving me a very hard time. So she said to him, it's just a hallucination. He said, hallucination? You don't believe me after all that? Look at my tongue. And he opened his mouth because of the blessing, all his mouth burned completely. Burned. She said, I couldn't believe myself. He's fully burned. And he took off his t-shirt and she said, somebody had no mercy, beat him, scourged him on his back till the flesh came out of his back. And he said, did I do that with myself, for myself? He said, the devil did that because I came with him to the church. He was very upset with me. Anyway, the other Australian, the Aussie lady, said to him, no, maybe this is just happened and somebody did that with you. He said, you don't believe? Okay, just wait. I'll bring him to you now. And he stood in front of the mirror and started saying, the two ladies ran out of not in the room, out of the foster, and they stayed outside. And she said to me that the girl, the other lady, the Aussie lady, was smoking, and she was shaking while she's smoking because of the boy and his face. She said, after 2 days, I was with him in the dining room, and all of them were watching the TV. All of them left, and he was the only one there. And she said, I was behind him. All of a sudden, his voice started changing completely and said, TV is mine. Media is mine. Social media is mine. But nature, not mine. In a very sad way. So she kept saying, he's telling, money is mine. Sex is mine. He kept telling what is his. But when it came to the nature, he was very upset. It's not his, it's God's. So the lady was afraid, so she started praying in her heart. So all of a sudden he stopped and said, stop what you're saying in your heart. While she's behind, not in front of her. So she kept praying more and more and more. He yelled at her loud and said, I will kill you if you keep praying. So she ran out of the foster as usual, and she came to me and said, Abuna, what can I do with that boy? I said, nothing, just pray. As long as you pray, he cannot touch you. So he said here, a blasphemous name. He has on his head a blasphemous name. And this is all what the devil is doing. What he's doing nowadays. Blaspheme God's name. You can find it everywhere. If you are anything except a Christian, you will be welcomed everywhere in the world. Everywhere. Trust me. Say, I am Buddhist, they will love you. Hindu will love you. Muslim will love you. Homosexual, they will love you so much. Say, I'm Christian. Yaki. Christian? Are you still Christians in the world? As if there is no Christian. So, this is from where? From devil. Because the devil is the chief of this world. And he putting in the mind of the people that no need for Christianity. Why he is doing that? Because Christianity only is the difficult thing for him. The Christians only like obstacle in his way. Not anything else. He welcomes anything, any religion, but not Christian. Why? Because the Christians are really, for the devil, is like fire for him. So, and why nowadays? Because it's increasing little by little. Preparation for the Antichrist to appear. I believe he is very soon coming. I believe not soon, tomorrow, don't worry. But I mean soon, in the life of our kids, or maximum your grandchildren, they will be in that time. I believe so. Why? Because there are a lot of signs, and the sign is telling us that it's very near from the Bible, and I will show you. So one of the signs that blasphemies everywhere, and everywhere, the girl working in a very, very big TV in Australia, and she's working, and she's very, very good in her work. They came, and she had a picture of Saint Mary in her office, in the Christmas. Her friends, and there are around 800 people working in this building, and she said the Christians, maybe there is another one with me, maybe, I'm not sure if she is Christian or not, but others against 800 in one building. So they cut the face of Saint Mary, and they put instead a face of an animal, and wrote down for her, Merry Christmas. This is, I'm not telling you in Australia and in Egypt or Africa or in Saudi Arabia. No, Australia. So you will find that everywhere. Hatred toward Christianity. And it's increasing. And it will increase a lot. Why? Just preparation for the Antichrist. Verse 2. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. Why leopard? Because nobody will know that he is bad. Everyone will see him, he's a good guy. And the leopard, and when we were in Africa, they had to tell us, if you see a leopard or a cheetah or something like that on top of the tree, just ignore him and don't look at his eyes. That's it, and go. Why? Because if you look at his eyes, he will attack you immediately. Yes, he will attack you. And that guy, when you tell him you are not Christ, you are Antichrist, he will attack you immediately. When you look at his eye, when you say to him that you are not our Christ, he will be like a tiger to eat you or to attack you. His feet were like the feet of a bear, because the bear, if he stands still, nobody can put him down. He's very strong, and that guy will come and put his feet on the earth. No one will be able to fight him or make a war against him except our Lord Jesus Christ. When he appears again, he will destroy him with his breath. And his mouth like a mouth of a lion. Mouth of a lion is very, very strong. You can't imagine. If you are watching something like Animal Planet or something like that, you will see that the lion with his mouth, he can break the spine cord of an animal like a buffalo. If you jump on top of it, with his mouth, he just make it paralyzed by breaking the spine cord of the animal. Or from the neck, he can break completely the neck and stop the blood goes to the brain with his mouth. I remember in Africa, there were a tribe that the young people, 16, 17 years old, any man has to face a lion face to face with a spear and kill him and get the head to propose for his bride. So it's so nice, either wedding or funeral. you can say 70% funeral. Because if he missed the heart of the lion hit him. All the tribe, of course, ran after the lion, so he ran. But I've seen one of them, those guys, poor guys, part of his skull and a very big part of his shoulder and side has been taken just because the lion just scratched him from top to bottom. And of course he died after 3 days after I saw him. And this is how strong is the lion. So he will come very strong, and you have to know that he's very, very strong. Why? Because the devil is strong. Why? Because the devil was an angel. No, not an angel, archangel. He was one of the cherubim. To know the power of an angel, look at the Bible. One angel killed every firstborn from human and animals all over Egypt, from Sudan up there on top of from Ethiopia, because Sudan and Egypt were one part, up to Libya in one night. Just one night. He killed all the firstborn. One angel killed from Sanherib, the king army, he killed from them 350,000 people. In one hit, this one hit. This is the power of an angel. One angel just put his feet in front of the tomb of Christ. There were an earthquake. Just one angel. So the angel is not, and he's very, very powerful. And he's not only angel, but archangel. And he's one of the cherubim. When he fell, he took from all the ranks of angels with him. So until now, when we come to cast out demons from somebody, you can know easily that he's a soldier or an officer or a general or something like that, because they are ranks. Saint Augustine said, from all the ranks of the angels followed the Satan, except one rank. Which rank? The rank of the seraphim. Why? Because in seraphim, God put all the love. They are full of love. But the cherubim, full of knowledge. So Saint Augustine said, if you fill your heart with love, it's very hard for you to fall. But with knowledge, it's easy to fall. So before we know anything, we know any information, we know any knowledge, it should be first to prepare ourselves with love, to fill our hearts with God's love first. So he said, the dragon, who is the dragon? Devil. The devil, yes, that's right. Maria. So the dragon gave him the power, which I told you about. The power, his power, the power of the devil. His throne in great authority. He will give him everything. You know, some people saying the Antichrist will come in other religion, will come with one eye and his nose and his back. Something, they call him Masih. Not Fasih, Masih. In Arabic they call him Masih, the guy, because he will be Moscha. Moscha means his face is. This is very wrong. Who's gonna follow such a guy? When he come, he will be very, very, very cute. The cutest guy ever the earth will see. Why? Because everyone will follow him easily, especially the females. And they will be very, very convinced as his personality is very strong, he has a charisma, so all the males will follow him because he's an amazing guy. He'll be very, very rich. He will be very powerful because the devil gave him the great authority. He gave him everything, his throne, everything. One of the miracles that really irritate the devil until today in the life of our Bible, in the Bible, one miracle happened, irritating him until today. What do you think? Which miracle? The biggest miracle happened, and we read about it in the Bible.
Resurrection.
Yeah, resurrection. Yes, you're right. The resurrection. It's the greatest miracle. Imagine that if Jesus Christ crucified on the cross and died, we wouldn't know anything about salvation, and we will not rise again because he didn't rise. But because Christ is risen, that makes that made the Christianity. So I'm telling you that it's irritating the devil. And in the beginning of the church, the apostles were going just to preach the resurrection of Christ, because it's a very important thing. So you will find here in verse 3 that the devil will make that guy, the Antichrist, will be almost the same like Christ, because all the prophecies has to fit on him also. So he will die and woke up again from death, so the people will believe in him. So you can see in verse 3, and I saw one of his heads, the human heads, as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. Because of this miracle, many people in the world will believe in him and follow him. So they worship the dragon. The dragon or the Antichrist? No. Because the dragon in that man who is Antichrist. He is in him. He is possessed him. You know, when we find anybody possessed now, he's possessed by a devil. A devil. Any devil. But that one, he will be possessed by Satan himself. And because of that, he will be very powerful. Very, you can't imagine. And worship the dragon who gave him authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Actually, no one. No one can make war with him. No one on earth, except our Christ. And if Christ comes to destroy him, that means this is the second coming of Christ. This is the end of the world, which I will tell you tomorrow how it will be the end of the world. Today, when I'm only for this part, I will tell you about the Antichrist, how he appears and what he will do. And he was given a mouth speaking great things. Great things. He will be, as I said, very charismatic. People will wait for any word from his mouth. And blasphemies. Still, he's against God. All what he will do, he will speak against God. And he was given authority to continue for 42 months. How many months that our Lord Jesus Christ was serving on earth? 42 months. The same period. Jesus was on earth serving from 30 years to 33 and almost half. It's 32 months. So he will imitate him too. And God said he will shorten his days on earth just to save the elected, to save us from his hand. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. And this is exactly what's happening now. What's happening now? Blaspheme against God, his name, his heavenly hosts. You can see in every watch, if you watch any TV or anything, as I told you, they don't attack any religion except Christianity. It was granted to him to make war with the saints. Who is the saints? You. He will make a war with you because you will not believe in him. With saints and to overcome them. What? He will overcome us? Yes, for a while. And the authority, he will have authority, was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him. What about us? All? There is no exception? There is exception. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Me and you, you're so lucky. Our Lord Jesus Christ wrote our names with his blood and the book of life. How lucky we are. So all the people will follow him, except those their names has been written in the book of life. Is it possible that my name can be deleted from the book of life? Actually, no. Except in one condition, that you delete it. If you be away from God, you can delete your name from the book of life. But even if, as long as you have hope and you believe that God came to save you, and you will keep praying, even you are in the middle of the sins, don't worry. Just believe in him. He will accept you, and he will cleanse you, and he will make you like a baby with no sin. But just go to him and surrender, and he will help you. So why? Because your name in the book of life with his blood. Because of that, when Jesus said something very important, he would always say, if anyone has an ear, let him hear. He's talking about the spiritual ear. We have to hear it in our hearts. He who leads into captivity shall go into captivity. Who kills with the sword must kill with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Yeah, he will kill a lot of people, those who believe in God, and he will captive many of them, but he will pay later. He will pay all that. God will not leave him. And what will do during this period? What will do? If he's very strong like that, he's very rich, everyone belongs to him, what can we do? He said, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Only faith and patience can save you. Only patience and faith. So you have to strengthen your faith. You have to do your best to be strong in faith. Because these days it will be very hard on us, and it started from now, as I told you. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. What is the other beast? The one who is assisting him, and for sure he will be like a head of priests or a chief priests, and in the Jewish people, because he is the one who will deceive the people and tell them, this is the Christ. And I'll tell you what is the scenario just now, how I see this scenario, what will happen exactly. The second beast, which is the chief of the priest, he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell on it to worship the first beast. So he will push people to believe in the Antichrist, whose deadly wound was healed. Again, remember, in this chapter only, they talked about his death, and he has risen from the dead again. 3 times in one chapter. He performs great signs, the second beast, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So both of them, especially the Antichrist, he will make lots of miracles. So because of that, we always tell our people, don't run after miracles. Yes, the church has miracles, but don't run after miracles. Don't keep saying, yeah, there is an icon here, getting oil, and we have to get oil out. If it is not in the church, don't run. There is no need. You have faith, and your faith must be stronger than any miracles. What brings miracles? Faith. Miracle cannot bring faith. Saint Mary appeared in Zaytun for 2 years, made thousands and thousands of miracles. Did the people believe in her or her son? No. Every year, a light comes out of the tomb of Christ every year in Jerusalem. Who is guards that tomb? Muslims and Jewish. Did they believe? They never believed. Because miracles cannot make people believe. But belief can make, or faith can make people, can make miracles. So, and he deceived those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image of the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived again, the third time. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. Why? Why the image will have all this authority? Because it will be a spell. A spell. Amal, al-Arab. If you take anything from him, it's a spell. It's part of the devil. Yes, it can shalib al-bidkul. It will make it upside down in your life. Why? Because he got something from him. So, because of that, he will try hard to let his sign and his image with you, in your house, by any means. So he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except the one who has the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is the wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. How? No. I will not take anything from the beast. Yes, you can say that. But you need a faith and a patience. Because at that days, I will give you what is going on. The mark of the beast. In 1984, I was studying in Canada. 84. 89, to understand, 89, I got a laptop, or maybe 90, I got a laptop from the United Nations as a gift. It cost $13,000, and it was monochrome, just monochrome, no color. And it was DOS, not Windows. It was, if you don't know what is DOS, it's a crazy thing, it's a code. So you keep saying 2 by so and so, and F and N and equals B. And you keep writing another a very long code, like a line, equals I. Equal S. After a page of codes, if you say to him, what is this? He will like Bishoy. He will say, Bishoy. Ya halaw. So it was very hard for me even to work on those, to get to help with the library of the. Anyway, while I was studying there, 84, not 89. This is 89 and 80 and 90. 84. There were no computers, nothing. Now a little baby with diapers, give him a phone, he will work on it and use it like crazy. 84, we were at a university and we didn't hear about computers. Okay? I've seen only a computer at the bank, and it was like a room, a huge one, to give you this all the time, to give you just papers and thousands of papers. But they said that they got us a very, very high scientists to give us lecture, and the highest technology we'll get into. So we were a lot from many faculties. We went to listen to them, and they said to us, you know, one day you will carry the phone in your pocket. We started laughing in our pocket because the phone was huge like that, and nobody can carry it. How come that we'll carry it in our pocket? They said not only that, all the computer can be connected with your phone, and everything will be remotely. The car will open remotely, and the TV will be remotely, and the car. What they're talking about? And they kept telling us what is remotely means from very far. Wow! It was for us like you're watching a sci-fi movie, something we can't believe it. While any kid now, you will find them, they know everything about that matters. And they said to us while they're talking, how many cards you have? A lot? I said, yes. You have an ID card, you have a health card, you have many cards, credit cards, and all these cards, your wallet will collect all these cards together to be one card. You go with it to the doctor, and you go with it to the bank. You can do anything with the same card. It has your life, all your life in the card, because it will have a microchip. Will put all the information. So it's one card. What is the problem in that? They said, there is a very big problem, that if you lose this card, that means you lose all your life. So we'll skip that, and we'll have the microchip to be planted in your head and your arm. They said 84. So I raised my hand, I said, it's Revelation chapter 13, verse. They said, please sit, don't make any noise. We are not talking about the Bible, we are talking about science. Otherwise, we'll kick you out. So I sat down just to hear and listen what they are saying. Yes, what else? They said, yeah, it will be planted here or in the arm. Now we have already the microchip, where in your phone, if you have phone, and especially iPhone, and it's written find my phone, that means you are connected through a microchip in the phone. This is the light, they will get you your phone, whatever it is. Fancy cars, it has a microchip. Dogs and cats has a microchip. They planted to them the microchip, so you will not lose your cat or your dog, your pet, whatever it is. What else? Many people in Europe, in some countries like I think Sweden, they start to plant the microchip in the hand, so for the health as a health card. So if somebody fall in the street, the ambulance will come, will scan his arm. They will know everything about his health, so they can deal with him. Specific people, those who are forces, special forces in the army in many big countries like the United States, they plan them for them a microchip so they can find them if they are being kidnapped or something like that. So it started, yes. I believe within 5 years, between 5 and 10, all of us will have the microchip. All of us. If the microchip is the Antichrist mark, no. It's just a wallet in your body. As you carry the wallet in your pocket or in your phone, now you can add all the cards you have into your phone. So it will be, instead of the phone, it will be planted in your head or in your hand. And when you go to, I don't know what, any shop here, I mean to get a coffee, for example, you don't need anything, a card or anything. While you are entering the shop, the computer will scan your head, or you will raise your arm like that. It will scan your arm, and that means you are ready to pay. You will go and say coffee. I heard that this year, I think this year or next year, in China, you don't need the cameras for everyone. There are hundreds of millions, and they planted cameras in the streets and everywhere. The people under observation all the time. So very soon, if you need Uber, you will not go to the area. You will not go to the application. No, you will stand on the sidewalk and say, Uber. He will come. And he said, Uber London. That means he will come to take you to London. Then he knows everything because somebody listening to you, computer listening to you and seeing you. So you have nothing. The technology is getting very fast. So anyway, they told us about that, and they said that everyone will have a microchip. And as I told you, it started already in our time. I heard that 84, and I didn't believe it. Now it is happening in our life. So everyone will have microchip. And until that guy will come, the cash will be vanished. The cash is getting now to be decreased a lot in many countries. Most of the people, including me, I don't have cash, just credit card. That's very good. So that guy, the Antichrist, when he comes, he will have his own credit card, for example. And the credit card, he will say, if you have my credit card, they will take 30% off discount of anything you buy. What will happen? The whole world will take that credit card because 30% discount. I believe the Copts will be the first. And they say, if Abuna said to them, don't take the credit card, this belongs to the devil, it's Antichrist. And they said, يا ابونا ما تزنوهاش بقى علينا يا ابونا، انتوا مش فاهمين حاجه، الحياه صعبه يا ابونا. It's very difficult for us to live, so give us space. Yeah, no problem. We don't believe in him, but just take his credit card. This is written in Revelation 13 that if you take anything from him, it's a spell. That means you will have a fingerprint in your body. Don't play with the devil. Oh, I don't say that. We understand everything as usual. Anyway, so the people will, most of the people will take that because it will give them discount, high discount. Do you know now, if you have Amex, American Express, and if you go to some shops or petrol stations. When you go, you will say, oh, sorry, we don't use Amex. I only Visa or MasterCard now in our time, right? In his time, they will say, sorry, we use only 666, only. So if you don't have that card, you will not buy or sell. You have no choice. You can't do anything. You will starve. Yeah. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You have to be patient until the 3 years and a half gone. Then after that, I think it's too much for you today. Tomorrow I'll continue with you what will happen and how that will happen as much as I can to explain for you. Okay? God bless you all and thank you.